We'll use it. All right, I have a plan. Are you yawning in the middle of this while I'm breaking it down? Huh?
Marvel Studios has announced that they are making major changes to their brand. Now, this is on top of the news that we already got from Marvel Studios about them already making changes to scale back the output of the content that they're going to be releasing. Disney CEO Bob Iger says that the company is shrinking the MCU with a new mission to drop the number of Marvel TV series to 2 a year and the film output to no more than 3 movies a year. And now they have announced that they are rebranding. And according to a report from Variety, the rebrands are meant to help Marvel disabuse audiences from the pervasive impression that its content is one unified narrative experience that must be consumed in its totality. Basically, in plain terms, what they are stating is that you don't have to watch everything that came before a certain movie or show to watch that certain show or movie and understand what is happening in that show or movie. And this has fans pretty concerned, actually, with some even saying that this strategy might go on to doom the MCU, basically making everything to where it's not really that connected and you can watch everything on its own. However, I believe that they can do both, and that is actually their plan. And don't worry, I'll break it all down for you and hopefully make you feel better about this because there's been a lot of misinformation about this going around on the web. Now, Marvel's rebranding was first revealed about a week ago at the Disney Upfront panel, when Marvel Studios was revealing shows like Daredevil, Born Again, Agatha, All Along, and the Ironheart series. Fans noticed that there now is a banner that says Marvel Television. You also might have noticed that X-Men 97 fell under the banner of Marvel Animation, while fans also noted that Marvel Spotlight was nowhere to be found, even though they just recently announced that with Echo. And basically now it sounds like Marvel Studios' plan is to make everything essentially a Marvel Spotlight project, but not literally. Everything isn't going to fall under the Marvel Spotlight banner. In fact, it sounds like the Marvel Spotlight banner is kind of redundant now, because what Marvel Studios wants to do moving forward is to make sure that audiences know that they can watch anything in the MCU, any movie, any show, anything that's upcoming from Marvel Studios without watching anything else beforehand. And this is what has fans worried. The connectivity of the MCU is what really drew a lot of fans to it. And it's one of the best things that we love about it. Yes, we do love the individual stories. Yes, we do love the individual characters, but one of the greatest things about the MCU is seeing all of them come together. We loved Iron Man, we loved Captain America, Thor, the Hulk, but seeing them come together was epic. And having their stories all interconnect with each other is something that always just made the team up that much better. Well, the good news is Marvel Studios is not going to stop their continuity, their connectivity in the MCU. They're just going to actively try and make it to where you don't really have to watch anything beforehand to watch a new movie or new show coming out. This is what Marvel Studios executive Brad Winderbam had to say to comicbook.com about what they are trying to do now. This is what he said. "We want to make sure that Marvel stays an open door for people to come in and explore. On the heels of Endgame, I think there was maybe a little bit of an obligation to watch absolutely everything in order to watch anything. As you know, as a comics fan, they're designed to just pop in, find something that you like, and use that to enter you into the universe. And then you can explore and weave around based on your own preferences." So, part of the rebranding of Marvel Studios, Marvel Television, Marvel Animation, even Marvel Spotlight is to, I think, try to tell the audience you can jump in anywhere. They're interconnected, but they're not. You don't have to watch A to enjoy B. You can follow your bliss. You can follow your own preferences and find the thing you want within the tapestry of Marvel. Now, there's a lot of really important things that he said in this whole thing, but what I really want to highlight is that he does say that they are interconnected. And as long as they're in the MCU, they're pretty much always going to be interconnected. Even Echo, which was a Marvel Spotlight banner project, which means it was supposed to be able to be viewed on its own without having watched anything in the past related to Echo. Even Echo was still highly connected to Hawkeye and the rest of the MCU. And Echo even set up Kingpin to go on to become mayor of New York City. So basically, this is how this is going to work. You don't have to watch anything to watch Echo. Yes, it does help and it does amplify the experience and make it better if you watched Hawkeye before watching Echo. And the next appearance of Kingpin, as far as we know, they might have have some surprises for us, but as far as we know, he's going to appear in Daredevil Born Again, and he's going to be running for mayor of New York City, and he's going to become the mayor of New York City, and then this is going to go into Spider-Man 4 as well. Well, this really started in Echo, but you don't have to watch Echo to understand what is happening with Kingpin in Daredevil Born Again, because they're basically going to explain what is going on. They're going to do a little quick recap. They basically did that in the first episode of Echo. They basically caught you up. They basically told you what happened before, so you didn't really have to watch Hawkeye before. And that's basically what Marvel Studios is saying that they're going to do. However, they have said more upon the subject to shed a little bit more light on what they really are trying to get at here. In a different interview with Variety, Brad Winderbaum said this: "The characters still live and breathe in the same universe, but the interconnectivity is not so rigid that you need to watch Project A to understand Project B. The hope is that, like the comics, you can just pop in anywhere and have a satisfying experience. We're trying to dispel the idea that you need to do any kind of setup work to watch anything else." He also said part of the rebranding was a signal to the general audience that we're creating a lot of options and you can follow your tastes within this brand. Some will be more comedic, some will be more dramatic, some will be animated, some will be live action. Marvel is more than just one thing. It is actually many different genres that just happen to coexist in a single narrative. So even here, he is saying that they are interconnected and there is one single narrative of the MCU, meaning it is all one story, a big interconnected story with a lot of different parts, but it is all interconnected and everything will eventually come together in one giant event. The Avengers events, and then hopefully in the future, Fantastic Four and X-Men events. Or in our case, for Avengers Secret Wars, all of those. But Variety does say, moving forward, however, Marvel intends to de-emphasize those connections, as some audiences have come to see the 46 titles that currently make up the MCU as a barrier of entry. And one could see how that could be pretty intimidating. If you want to jump into the MCU now, and you know it's all connected, well, there are 46 projects that you would have to watch in order to really know what is going on with the next one that you're about to jump into. That's how somebody might feel, but that is actually not the case. You could jump in and watch the Hawkeye series without really knowing what happened before. It would help and amplify the experience to know about Hawkeye and the Avengers, but again, even in Hawkeye, they showed Hawkeye fighting during the events of the first Avengers movie. So basically, they are trying to make it more accessible, and they are also trying to make it to where if you don't have interest in a project, you don't have to watch that to understand the overall story of the MCU. And that actually is a complaint among MCU fans, not the casual fans, but the real hardcore MCU fans. I've actually seen the complaints. I've seen them say, I don't want to watch this show, but I have to because I need to understand what is going to happen in Avengers 5, in Avengers Secret Wars, and another movie. Well, it sounds like Marvel Studios heard those complaints from the fans, from the casual fans and the diehard fans, and they went, well, you don't really have to watch everything before, and we're going to do our job to kind of catch you up in the beginning of our new projects on all the relevant things that you need to know about this project so you aren't really confused as to what is going on. That way, if you missed a show or you missed a movie, you can still enjoy this new movie or new show without having to go back and binge watch 46 different Marvel projects. I actually think it's a really good idea because for us fans that love the MCU as it is and watch everything that they put out, nothing's really changing. Everything's still interconnected. They're not changing the connectivity of the MCU, but moving forward, they're just doing a better job at emphasizing that you don't have to watch everything, and we are going to catch you up on whatever it is you actually are watching to where you can understand everything. I think it's actually a great idea. It'll draw more audiences. It's a great business move because you're going to get more views, you're going to get more sales at the box office, and at the same time, us fans who love the interconnectivity, we aren't affected. Nothing is really changing about the MCU. Yes, they have rebranded some things and they are emphasizing some new things for some new viewers, but in reality, nothing has changed. They're simply doing a better job at recapping things before you dive into a project. So I really like this, but let me know your thoughts about it in the comments down below. Please don't forget to like the video and subscribe so you can stay up to date on the MCU and so you can help us get to 1 million subscribers. You can find all of our socials in the pinned comment down below, as well as the giveaway info. And as always, thank you all so much for watching. Woof woof.